if everything comes out, Mr. Beast is done. So what we're gonna watch right now is disgusting, it's bad, but apparently, or allegedly, that's just the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yesterday, Ava Kris Tyson of the Mr. Beast crew had a ton of evidence surface about horrible behavior with how they communicated with minors, as well as a past of really disgusting shit. A lot of people are calling the Season 7 writers of 2024 internet drama lazy because they're reusing a similar plot line. A lot of people drew comparisons to Dr. Disrespect recently being outed for talking inappropriately to a minor. There are tons of screenshots to showcase exactly what was being said to someone who was between
They Not Like Us is the anthem of 2024, and every single month there is a new PDF file coming out. It's crazy.
13 and 14 years old at the time, and it's fucking gross. It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So Ava Tyson was an adult at this point. Lava was a child.
Should I go to the other side? Wait, sorry. I think it makes more sense if I go over here.
And saying things like, I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share. And then other shit like, but not $5, pathetic JK kissy face. They seem to communicate a lot, even sending Snapchats. So here's one that says, coming for America, and then goes on to talk about being in a group chat and everything.
If you're above the age of 18 and you have Snapchat, there's a very good chance that you're a pedophile. I'm just gonna say it like that. I don't know what the hell a 18 plus year old person or 20 plus year old person should do with Snapchat. I never got into Snapchat.
And I've seen a lot of people try and cope and deflect, saying like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever. Edgy
Fact, there were some people in this Dr. Disrespect's community who were arguing the same way. Like, they were saying, those were just edgy jokes. Even if there were jokes, you shouldn't say shit like that to a minor.
Jokes between an adult and a child are still fucking gross. That's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is. Under no circumstances should an adult be in a group chat with a bunch of children sending coming for America pictures. Like, that's still bad. That's still horrible. That's still really fucking weird. From what I can tell, most of the screenshots and a lot of the compiled evidence comes from this YouTuber, Prism42. This seems to be where most of it started, and since this video dropped, there's been a lot more screenshots that have come out with all kinds of really bad things that were being said to or about minors. I've only shown a couple here, but there's quite a bit more, and they're all just as bad, if not worse.
Stop talking to minors, dummies.
Ava Tyson had a habit.
It's astonishing the amount of big YouTubers that came out and were either completely like manipulative, grooming, sexually assaulting, or even worse, raping minors. They did drop Chris. Yeah. We're gonna get to that. But there's a former employee, Mr. Beast employee, who is saying that the Chris stuff is just the tip of the iceberg, and if everything comes out, he was holding an NDA contract. He was holding NDA papers. Now, we don't know what those NDA papers were for. Maybe it was for a shoot that he did with Mr. Beast a while ago. We don't know. But he's claiming that if everything comes out, Mr. Beast is done. And we'll just see. I guess the situation will unfold a little bit more in the next few days.
A 13 or 14-year-old dad.
Also, welcome to the stream, Double Chocolate Chip.
You can't just write that off as being like quirky, inappropriate, edgy jokes that people are blowing out of proportion. That's unacceptable. It's indefensible. Now, the 13, 14-year-old in question for a lot of these messages is someone that has come forward to give their own accounts of the situation. And according to them, they don't believe that they were groomed or anything bad was done on the part of Ava Tyson or anything like that. And I'll just go ahead and give my take on it here. I talked about it on stream. And I'm not trying to be some kind of armchair psychologist because I'm just, at the end of the day, a little reptile brain idiot. But I really do feel like in a situation like this, it's very difficult to process just how inappropriate or unacceptable something was when you lived it. I imagine that it's very difficult to view this as the person that you communicated to so closely for so long was actually evil or doing things that were wrong.
Oh yeah, he's referring to the person that was texting with with Ava, the person came out on Twitter and said that they were not being groomed, or they were not being like the text exchange that they had with Kris were not inappropriate, and everyone is lying.
In reality, no child should have this kind of relationship with an adult where you're joking about sending nudes to a minor or making edgy jokes about coming for America. So while the person here might not feel like a victim, it really is completely unacceptable that Ava Tyson would be communicating with them like this. It really is, no matter how it's spun. Now, it is important to mention that right now, most of the evidence is screenshots, so I guess there is the chance that some could be faked, but some of them seem very hard to fake, like there's a video going through a Snapchat conversation with Ava. There's also confirmed things that were publicly tweeted from their account over the years, which I'll get to now. And it was also revealed that Ava Tyson had a history of being a Shadman enthusiast. Since all the tweets have been deleted, it makes it very difficult to find the times that they communicated with Shadman or talked about.
This is a person who basically looked at real-life children, and then he was drawing CP from them, basically based on them. And he was a friend with Shadbase, and he even commissioned something from him.
Shadman and the art, but I did find this from Mudahar's video, who went to the Wayback Machine and showcased this tweet. And Mudahar censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18. For those of you that know that name, that might...
And no, Kris is not gay, Kris is trans. I hope you don't get the impression of all transgender people being like Ava Kris. It's just Ava Kris. Just like not all gamers are groomers. It was just Dr. Disrespect. And the occasional other YouTuber. But it would be wrong. You know how many YouTubers are out there? It would be wrong to now say every popular YouTuber is a potential groomer, grifter, sexual abuser. There's so many, it's like less than 1% that turns out to be, well, a disgusting piece of shit. And both Kris, Ava Tyson, and Dr. Disrespect are pieces of shit.
Might have just triggered a Winter Soldier moment in your brain with your eyes rolling into the back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was an artist who drew child porn. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking about lolly or lolly hentai type shit, which is characters that look like little
like
girls.
Goku was right.
5,000 year
Thanos was also right.
Like that's the meme. Fucking sipping from their Mountain Dew, going, uncultured swine. You see, it's not actually a real child. This is a victimless crime. This may look like a 4-year-old girl, but you don't understand the lore. She's actually coming from a sophisticated line of goblin ogres, and she is over 400 years old. So it's completely legal, and you're weird for thinking that it's weird. But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing real children sexually.
That's disgusting.
One of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything. That is something that actually happened. And you know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream.
How is he not in jail? That person who did that. How was that? It apparently was even like posted on Twitter and whatnot. How's that even possible?
A lot of people supported him publicly. Like, a lot of people defended that. Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar, who cares? Doesn't matter, he deserves it anyway. Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next?" He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment. So anyway, Ava Tyson has publicly tweeted about lolly. And in particular, there are tweets of Ava Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked, but there are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman. Or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman. There's a clip from a Mr. Beast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall, belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons, but this is something that is irrefutable. The only question about Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson.
Both is bad.
And I don't think there's any wiggle room to just explain this
Both
away
is
as some
equally
kind of
bad.
innocent whoops-a-daisy moment of being ignorant of what the art was. With Ava Tyson having publicly talked about content and art like that, and then also owning a Shadman piece, I don't think it's some kind of coincidence. Like, I don't think it was an accident and they didn't know Shadman drew child porn. I really don't.
I can't handle this anymore. If this type of situation, if this type of topic is too much for you, then please take a break. But this is exactly why I labeled this stream with sexual content. It's supposed to be a trigger warning.
And then yet another disturbing video surfaced where they had actually made a video a long time ago that linked to revenge porn of Jeanette McCurdy.
The story is she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend.
Bro, he is degenerate. He always has been. And the question is, you can always say it was a phase, it was edgy, but like there are like many things he did throughout his life, throughout the past few years, that were completely like disgusting and inappropriate. The question I have is, and maybe that's the reason why we're gonna see a lot more coming out in the future, is that Mr. Beast probably knew about this. That's one of his best friends. I repeat, best friends. And he's been doing that for several years. It's not like it was a one-time oopsie. He has been doing this for several years, and I don't think if you're this close with your best friend and you're running a company together, Mr. Beast has seen his tweets. Mr. Beast knows about it. And like, I don't want to blame anything on Mr. Beast just yet. I'm just saying that if that's his best friend, I think it's very like hard to believe that he did not know anything about this entire situation. Very hard to believe. So it's either Mr. Beast tried to protect his friend and his company, or Mr. Beast tried to protect his company only, mainly his company, or option number 3, and that one would be the big one, Mr. Beast has similar preferences. And they're actually having like some sort of cult together, but we don't know yet.
And if you want to see him, I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that, people might want to see him, so it's there if you want it.
That's crazy. That's astonishing. Sharing revenge porn publicly and trying to spin it like, well, some people might want to see this, so for you degenerates, I posted the link in the description. If you want to check that out. But you'd be weird to do that, and I'm not endorsing it. That's unhinged. Completely unhinged. So all of this started to hit the mainstream. More and more people started sharing screenshots as well as other chat logs, all kinds of things with a history of communicating inappropriately with or about minors. And in response, a couple hours ago, Ava Tyson did make a statement, and this is what was said. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health.
That is a lawyer statement. That is not a personal statement. And once again, I'm going to tell you the same thing I said about Dr. Disrespect. If you are being falsely accused, or if I would be falsely accused of something this heinous, this evil, I would not be this composed with my message. I would be like, I'm gonna sue the shit out of you. All the people that are lying, you're gonna hear from my lawyer. You're liars. I'm not a PDF file. And how dare you spread something like that? The fact that Ava did not do it, the fact that Dr. Disrespect did not do it, that's all you need to know in this situation.
That is kind of a textbook non-apology. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like this blanket boilerplate statement about stepping away. There's no denial of anything, no claims that some of the
I doubt that she wrote it
false,
herself.
made up,
It was probably
fabricated, a lie, a
PR.
fib, a bunch of
or lawyer.
malarkey. Nothing at all. You would really think that if any of the information was wrong or faked, that would be one of the first things that Ava Tyson would want to set the record straight on.
That's my point.
But that didn't happen. Even if it was something like needing more time, I really feel like that would have been expressed in the statement, saying, need more time to talk about all of these things that are incorrect. But again, that's not there. So they're assumed to be all correct at this point, and they're indefensible, the things that have come out here. As I was rendering this video, Ava Tyson dropped more tweets claiming that no one was ever groomed, and then states that the victim vocally supported that that's false. I again, already told you my feelings on that. I really don't think a child who has this kind of relationship with an adult would ever really recognize just how inappropriate it was, because it became so normalized to them, which it never should be. It's a horrible thing, and there really is no excusing it in my eyes. Going further, there's an apology about unacceptable social media posts, and then saying that it was edgy jokes and that it was unacceptable humor, that it's like a thing of the past and it's been misconstrued into things that didn't happen.
Saying stuff like you would like to have with like a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, it's just disgusting. It's not edgy. It's not funny. It's just completely disgusting. Like, where's the humor in that?
And then not wanting the accusations to impact hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why Ava Tyson has stepped away. I just don't think you can write off a lot of those social media posts as edgy jokes or edgy humor when you actually owned art from an artist who draws child porn. That's not a joke anymore. Haha, bought some child porn art. Like, that's not exactly side-splitting comedy.
Nope.
Like, I don't really think you can just go ahead and hand wave that as being edgy and like old humor that you've grown from. And then some of the tweets about it and like requests, what's the joke? Like, what's the punchline of that? I really don't think you can just say, oh, it's just edgy jokes that are blown out of proportion. Sorry if people are offended by it. Like, that just doesn't really work to me. As of right now, there's been no response from Mr. Beast or anyone else on the team about all of this. So
there probably won't be.
Whether or not Jimmy or anyone else on the team knew about these things or what's going on there. But as of me making this video, there's still no response yet.
Ava Kris, Dr. Disrespect, and potentially Mr. Beast as well if he knew about it.